Indigenous oil marketing company COIL has been selected among other local oil marketing companies to lead in the implementation of the gas cylinder recirculation program. To this end, COIL has been mandated to build 3 gas filling plants in various parts of the country. Chairman of the Board of Directors, Kwamna Batel, said this at COIL's 49th annual general meeting in Accra. He says gas filling stations will be built in Tema, Kumasi and Tamale. Ebenezer Sabute has more.
President Akufo-Addo in October last year directed that the new cylinder recirculation module for LPG distribution be implemented to reduce the risk of accidents at the various gas filling stations in the country. This means LPG bottling plants will be sited away from congested commercial and populated areas. As part of government's mandates, the local oil marketing company, COIL, will procure, brand, maintain and fill empty cylinders for more distribution to consumers and households through retail outlets. Managing Director of COIL, Patrick Akoli, has been explaining in an interview with Joy Business.
Companies will be in charge of the distribution of the LPG bottles. We will have a filling plant at Tema. We have one in Kumasi, and then we also have one in Tamale, which will be doing the cylinder refilling. Then we'll have vehicles who will go around distributing the cylinders, the filled one. So the customer will no longer go to a filling plant with an empty bottle to get the cylinder filled. We just want to eliminate the contact of the customer and the filling plant, so that we can reduce the number of incidents that occur at these filling plants.
He disclosed COIL is earmarking about 50 million cedis for the program. He, however, assures shareholders that the company will be paying high dividends soon when the company starts realizing proceeds from other investments it has made so far.
We want to operate as a commercial enterprise, increasing the shareholders' value. But at the same time, as the largest oil marketing company in the country, we are also looking at the economic fortunes of the country. We don't want to distort the market. So we are trying to marry the two positions.
How much is the LPG going to cost? How much is the program going to cost? It needs to meet other people for the...
It's an investment. It's being appraised, but we're likely to invest over 50 million Ghana cedis.
Okay. What's the whole program?
Yeah.
Shareholders have approved an amount of almost 11 million cedis as dividend for the year ending 2017.
Government has dismissed claims it is interfering with the regulatory role of the Bank of Ghana following its decision to set up a committee to deal with challenges confronting some indigenous banks in meeting the new minimum capital requirement. Deputy Minister of Finance, Kweku Kwating, in an interview with Joy Business, disclosed the move by government would rather ensure that the financial system is clean. Ebenezer Sabute's report.
President, a couple of weeks ago, set up a committee to engage with the local banks on measures to help secure the necessary requirement before December 2018. This was after some representatives of indigenous banks called on the president to, among others, consider extending the minimum capital requirements deadline till 2022. However, some analysts have criticized the move by the president, saying it amounts to interference. Government, on its part, says it won't do anything contrary to what the Bank of Ghana regulation states. In an interview with Joy Business, Deputy Minister for Finance, Kweku Kwating, said the action by government is to complement the efforts of a bank in sanitizing the financial system.
It is not really for government to be forcing the Bank of Ghana's hand where the Bank of Ghana does not intend to do something. And so government does not take the view that we ought to be overruling the Bank of Ghana, or that we ought to be even undermining the regulatory functions of the Bank of Ghana. What government can do, which we are doing, is to engage with the local banks to ensure that they are not so harshly impacted by these directives of the Bank of Ghana, that we can use various strategies to ensure that they remain within the banking system. That is the focus of the engagements we are having with the indigenous banks right now.
He spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the official ceremony to rebrand HFC to Republic Bank after the Trinidad financial firm acquired a controlling stake in the bank. Managing Director of HFC, Anthony Jordan, said the new brand will open up the bank's financial portfolio to finance more businesses and investments.
This will certainly cause a shift, we'd like to think, in the minds of the public as we line up fully with our major shareholder, our parent company, Republic Bank. All right, so we know Republic Bank Ghana Limited. That brings a number of benefits to us. We will be perceived in the marketplace as a truly universal bank. Our cost of funding will come down because of the BBB+ rating that we have from Standard & Poor's. It allows us to integrate even more with the systems and procedures and the best practices of Republic Bank. And most important, we'll see an increase in the services and the products that Republic Bank provides in its other territories. A lot of that will be offered in Ghana and going forward.
Republic Bank is optimistic shareholders will approve strategies to raise funds from the stock market to meet the minimum capital requirement before December 2018.
Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Greda Sami Amegaibo, says the move by government to approve the acquisition of HFC by Republic Bank will not have any significant impact on mortgage financing. According to him, the estate developers are in constant talks with the bank and have the assurance that the sector will not be abandoned. He spoke to Joy Business after the official rebranding ceremony of HFC Bank in Accra. The Trinidad and Tobago-based bank, Republic, took a controlling stake in HFC last year.
Home is home. I think they want to expand, but their foundation business, which is the home financing, will not go away. I'm privileged to have met the MD personally and Paula one-on-one, and we have discussed mortgage at length. In fact, we shared ideas on what I think are problems in the industry and some measures that we think we can bring on board to mitigate some of the challenges that the mortgage market is facing. And they sounded very positive, in fact, very enthusiastic, and actually dedicated an officer in their office to me for us to deliberate further, and maybe the officer will present what his findings are to them, and we are on it. In fact, I just met the guy right now.
Are we going to have a situation where now home financing will not be their first choice?
Well, it depends. You see, you can have a portfolio and allocate your market share in a particular setting. Then what is more important is you don't drop what you have always provided for mortgage, but then make possible to include the oil and all. It's just about maintaining what you have at least and ensuring that at least we don't lose out on that opportunity. And they sound very enthusiastic, and I'm sure they will really want to continue to do mortgage financing.
Well, away from that, some automobile importers say the Ghana Revenue Authority's plans to impound uncustomed vehicles, if not properly executed, could scare away their customers. The GRA has announced its intentions to commence special operations to check whether import duties and other taxes have been paid on vehicles already on the roads. Now, even though the operation has been suspended till further notice, General Manager at the Georgia Motors, Stephen Nana Poku-Mensah, has urged the GRA to rather ensure that imported cars do not cross borders illegally. Bismarck Awusa reports.
RA earlier indicated that it will vigorously intensify its surveillance exercise to seize all vehicles which owners have evaded tax payments. Even though the operation has been postponed indefinitely, it has been met with some reactions from industry players. The general manager of the Georgia Motors, Stephen Nana Poku-Mensah, says the authority should consider an alternative means to ensure tax compliance at the ports to avoid any attempt to dent car dealership business in the country.
Coming here with their police and customs, that way, I think it will embarrass most of the people coming here, the customers. They would think that we have packed our license cars, and which means we haven't paid the duties that we have brought in the cars. But it wasn't like that. We normally pay our taxes. If you don't pay your tax, do you think you can get the car out? It's impossible. So within our boundaries, the borders, they should try and cross-examine the boundaries, because those cars are coming from that unapproved borders. So the immigration and the custom officers should check that one, because if any car will enter, it will be the problem of the custom officer or the immigration officer. So they should check that one. By passing through the port, you pass so many houses before the car will get out.
Nana Poku-Mensah is also urging the GRA to put in regulations to ensure that individuals who want to sell their cars do so through authorized garages.
You can't go to other countries and see other cars. Somebody will park his car somewhere and he's not paying tax. Those are the people who are not paying tax that the government must to chase them and tell them that you should send your car to garage and sell it. So I can also take something from the garage owner. You see, somebody may have his car and put for sale on it. He's not a car dealer. And perhaps you can buy this car and you have a problem. Instead for you to chase the person and know where you bought the car, you can't find it. So it's better you come to the garage and buy it. But people who are selling the cars individually, they put it somewhere and you may see them selling it anyhow. And they are not paying the taxes. Those are the people that the government must to chase them.
Bismarck Ausa, Joy Business.
You're watching Business Live. Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, has called for the formalization of other international languages in the curriculum of business schools in the country. He was speaking on the sidelines of the 39th Management Day celebration of the University of Ghana Business School.
The Management Day celebration of the University of Ghana Business School is an annual affair which is set aside to bridge and foster working relationship among students and other stakeholders in employment. This year's celebration saw key stakeholders in education and business concentrate on the need for entrepreneurial development. Speaking on the sidelines of the event, Minister in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, called for the introduction of international languages in the curriculum of business schools, as this would help broaden their benefits as upcoming entrepreneurs.
Many Togolese and Bedinois speak fluent English, but mostly those who happen to speak the majority languages have inertia, saying that the business school and other business schools should consider the geopolitical situation in which Ghana finds itself. To find itself, they should collaborate with language departments in order to fix this particular need and deficit.
In reply, the Dean of the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Joshua Abo, says his department is on course in providing students with such opportunities.
We've introduced a one-year master's program in international business, and students will have the opportunity of picking electives from any of the languages. Also at the undergraduate level, students are expected to pick one language course, either in French, Chinese, and the like. So going forward as business students who want to be entrepreneurs, want to be investors, having a second language is extremely critical.
This year's celebration was under the theme, Entrepreneurship, a catalyst for Ghana's socio-economic development. Reporting for Joy Business, Karin Dudu.
Industry demands must inform and shape curriculum development in universities. That's according to President of the Christian Service University College, Professor Sam Anane. Now, he's been speaking to Joy Business at this year's career fair in Kumasi, and he says this is the only way to bridge the gap between industry and academia.
Data from the Institute of Statistics, Social and Economic Research at the University of Ghana suggests only 10% of graduates find jobs a year after school. A large number of them take up to 10 years to secure employment. Professor Afrane believes the age-old complaint universities are not churning out the right products for industry must be lessened.
Industry must inform and shape career development, curriculum development in the universities. the AGI, Association of Ghana Industries, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the professional bodies must get closer to the universities.
Hello.
This year's career fair is under the theme Promotion of Employable Skills, the role of universities in Ghana. It brought together business operators to interact with students. Executive Director, Rural Enterprise Development, Sam Arthur, encouraged young graduates to take up small-scale businesses. He believes they stand a better chance of making it bigger than illiterates.
When graduates take up some of these skills training, and we have begun to now get some of them. Now we have programs in graduate skills employment. We have graduates who are undertaking skills in agri-businesses. We have some in beets making, some in some agro-processing activities, and you want to see them. I don't think these people will be writing applications to some of these firms on this. They really have ambition themselves and they want to grow their businesses. Like the originator of the Facebook, like the other examples that we have undertaken. I believe your study here and the training that you are undergoing through, if you are really conscious of becoming an entrepreneur, you stand a better chance than the person in KJTI, that person sitting in that kiosk. You can live here and go and begin selling ice water. You will become a better entrepreneur in ice water selling than the one that you see out there.
All right, you're watching Business Live. We are turning to the Joy Business Van because it's a Wednesday. Cash and carry, remember that term was popular in a hospital. Still, the National Health Insurance Scheme was introduced. Still, many people have to pay cash before they access health care. A number of private health insurance firms have sprung up in the last few years, but how are they keeping up? Well, the Joy Business Van has been engaging some of these firms. Dr. Danamo is CEO of Acacia Health Insurance. He's been running this business for 6 years.
And my first time that I was exposed to health insurance was 2009. I was working in a hospital, and then the owners of the hospital looked at ways that we could hold on to our own clients.
The private health insurance industry was pretty young then. The National Health Insurance Scheme was supposed to cater for the health needs of the less privileged and private firms, mainly for corporate clients. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance Limited is one of the about 14 private health insurance firms operating in the country. Elton Afari is marketing director for the firm.
The National Health Insurance Act gave the chance for us to be able to have the National Health Insurance Scheme, the private commercial, the private mutual, and the district mutual. The framers of the act or the law saw the need for us to have these for various schemes, such a way that at every point in time one can associate himself or herself to a particular.
Generally, the number of people signed onto an insurance policy in Ghana is low. Current figures put the rate of penetration at 2%. Story same for the health sector. Perhaps most people consider it expensive.
But if you pay and you are not well, immediately you go to the hospital, you just get the health care you need and you go back home. So there's an important, or there's a serious need for each one of us to be able to be insured. Because if you are not well, you go, the least you pay within is about 180, 200 if it's about, let's say, malaria. And maybe you don't have that money there. But if you have the insurance and you've already paid your premiums, you just go and you just go back home.
There's stiff competition in the private health insurance space. 14 companies competing for a market of about 300,000 clients, and to outcompete their peers, some firms undercut premiums. That is considered a major challenge in the industry.
Because everybody wants to attract a good number of corporate clients, we see a lot of undercutting in the market. Because the only thing that separates a lot of the schemes from each other is how much they charge for their services. There are a few of us who have been able to scale up a bit, in that for us, we have our own health facility that also goes to add on to the service that we're offering.
Providing quality services is then most important to stay in business. Most firms are also now venturing into the retail space.
We've realized that that is where the market is, and that's where we find the people in. And it's one of the things that we are going to use to be able to expand, because we are going to every single district in Ghana. And you can imagine the number of facilities across, the number of people there. So we believe that if we are able to do things right, to be able to take care of the clients very well and make them happy, I know that we'll be able to be big and even move beyond Ghana.
Players are hopeful the numbers will go up in the coming years.
Health insurance in Ghana, I think that it has come to stay. It has come to stay. Most of the firms in here, like ourselves, are also learning from the experiences year in, year out. Individuals, families, and corporates along the entire spectrum would be able to.
Trends in the health and wellness industry change from day to day with new discoveries and technological advancement. It's a $4 trillion global industry where new products and techniques are discovered constantly. Want to know more? The Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show, Partnering for Health, coming soon.
And you can catch a repeat of the Joy Business Van on the marketplace tomorrow. Of course, we are putting the spotlight on private health insurance ahead of the Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show. You can also catch up on all our stories on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. If you're an EcoBank Transnational Incorporated shareholder, you can get to read why you didn't enjoy any dividend this year. The bank saying that is a move to meet regulatory requirements in other regions on the continent. That'll be it for Business Live tonight. My name is Daryl Kwao. We bring back the show same time tomorrow.